Welkom bij het programma Countryland. U kijkt mee naar onze uitzending met mijn collega Jaap.
Ja, en mijn collega Timen.
In ons programma hebben wij country, bluegrass, oldtime en alles wat daar een beetje bij hoort.
Ja, ik vul het wel eens aan, hè. Met Amerikaanse, folk. Toch?
We hebben heel veel stijlen, dus daar doen we graag aan mee.
Ja, doen we graag aan mee.
Ja, vanavond ook live bij ons hier en een band die komt optreden. En dan zeg ik, heel veel kijkplezier bij het programma Countryland.
Zeker.
What you get for getting older is a little less time, but the miles mean so much more now as you move on down the line. You're losing the desire to look back over your shoulder. That's what you get for getting older. Deeper the color, the richer the flavor. Sipping it slow, 'cause it's meant to be savored. It's not about the high, it's not about the blues. It's that feeling you get when it's going down smooth. What you get for getting older is a little less time, but the miles mean so much more now as you move on down the line. You're losing the desire to look back over your shoulder. That's what you get for getting older. Brought you to this, roads that you took and turns that you missed, enjoying the sand as it slips through your hand, and earning the wisdom to not give a damn. What you get for getting older is a little less time, but the miles mean so much more now as you move on down the line. You're losing the desire to look back over your shoulder. That's what you get for getting older. The desire to look back over your shoulder. That's what you get for getting older.
Ik geef nou het woord aan mijn collega Ab.
Ja, dat mensen niet denken, wat is Timen veranderd qua stem?
Hey, oh nee.
Nee, ik ben Ab even. Nee.
You're a lot of shorter.
Ja, don't tell him.
No.
Ik doe even, voor de luisteraars thuis, voor mijn neus zitten Erik Brace en Thomm Jutz. Ja, dankjewel Helen. Guys, welcome back, I should say,
Thank
to
you
our
for having
show.
us. Thank you. 6 years now?
It was. We'll try to look it up. I think it was in the fall of 2018.
Yeah.
So that is nearly 6 years. So how's the European tour treating you so far?
It's great. It's been really great. We started a little over 2 weeks ago and played a bunch of shows in Germany and then came here and Got one more after this here in Holland, then go back to Germany, go to Switzerland, and we played about 17 shows in 20 days or something. So it's pretty busy, but we like it that way.
So you've been away from home for quite some time then.
Yes, and it's taken some getting used to, because we used to do it in the before days. By that, of course, before that pandemic. We used to travel a couple of times a year, and we haven't done that in
a long time.
So we're getting used to traveling on the highways and changing venues every night, and it's really wonderful.
Oh, sounds good. For the people that don't really know you, you've been playing together for quite some years. How did you two guys get to know each other, and how did this collaboration start?
Well, we were introduced by a mutual friend called Peter Cooper. Eric and Peter were in a duo together, and then there was an evening at Folk Alliance in Memphis, Tennessee, where we had all known about each other and of each other for a number of years, but I ended up in the Red Beat room, which was the label that Eric was running at the time. And Peter and I walked back to the hotel, and Peter said, "I really like what you do." And I said, "Well, Peter, I really like what you do." And then a couple of days later, I got a phone call from Peter saying, "Hey, can you play these couple shows with us?" And I was like, "Sure, absolutely." And then we enjoyed playing music together, recording together, and we've been doing it for almost 12 years now, I think.
Wow. We did, Peter and I, when we had our duo, we recorded a total of 4 records together, and we did the last 2 in Tom's home studio, and he was playing on the records and singing on the records, and it just made sense to have him keep coming and playing at the live shows too. And the thing that we learned pretty quickly is what an extraordinary songwriter Thomm is, and he was named the International Bluegrass Songwriter of the Year in 2021, and he's nominated almost every year for that. He does a lot of bluegrass collaborations and co-writing with people, and it made sense to have him join us and sing his songs, so that made us a trio. And so we made a couple of trio records also, and that was wonderful.
Yeah, and I know there's a few of your albums here on our table. Yeah. You talked about the collaborations, and I know there's been a couple for the both of you. Just took some of them from home. I have here one, Lost Voices, that you made, Tom, with Tim Stafford. Of course, this is a very special record with Martin Simpson, Nothing But the Green Willow. Beautiful album. And you also did a few, I should say, tribute albums. And I have 2 of them here. One with Mac Wiseman and one for Tom T. Hall. Mm-hmm. And is the one that's particularly special for you? Which one is that?
Well, I have to go with the Tom T. Hall record, because that was nominated for a Grammy for the Best Children's Record, and that was Peter Cooper's idea back in 2011, and he thought it would be a good idea to make a tribute to Tom T. Hall by recording songs that he had put out back in 1974. Called Songs of Fox Hollow, which was his farm in Tennessee, and it was songs he'd written for his nephews about his farm. And we went into the studio at Tom T. Hall's house, and we got a bunch of great musicians on there, Buddy Miller and Elizabeth Cook and Jim Lauderdale and Dwayne Eddy and folks like that, and Patty Griffin, and we had such a good time doing it. And we got to know Tom T. Hall, who is one of the great country songwriters of all time, one of the great American songwriters. And so that was pretty special. And then the fact that it was nominated for a Grammy was extra special. Though, of course... The storyteller. Yes, Tom T. Hall, the storyteller. But, of course, being nominated for a Grammy just means that we lost.
And people usually tend to forget that you were nominated, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
You did also an album with Lloyd Green, or was that?
Yes, several albums with Lloyd Green. Do you know Lloyd, the great pedal steel player?
Yeah. You did together with Peter.
Yes, because Peter knew Lloyd very well. Peter was a journalist for the Nashville newspaper and had written many stories.
The Tennessean.
Tennessean. He'd written about Lloyd Green, and Lloyd was retired. But Peter said, "I'd love to record with you. Would you do that?"
Yeah.
And so he ended up Lloyd played on 3 solo records that Peter made and 2 of our duo records, and he plays on I Love. And we put all of those out on Red Beat Records. That's my label that I started with my wife, Mary Ann Werner. And so we're very proud that we're the musical home of Peter Cooper and for so much of Lloyd Green's work also.
Beautiful albums too.
Thank you.
Beautiful. What the 3 of us have in common is our love for history. It could be historical events, that could be places or people, not necessarily musicians. Could be any sort of transportation. That's what I found out. What I love about your music is the way you put it all that history into your songs, into your albums. Why is it important for you to keep that history alive? To keep that?
Well, I mean, for me personally, it's just more interesting to talk about other people rather than talking about exclusively how I view the world. And I always feel like when you talk from a different perspective or you talk about a different period of time, you're still going to be in the song because you're filtering that information through your mind, through your creative energy, whatever you want to call it. And it's just more interesting to me. And I think we're all trying to add a little bit to the canon of country music, folk music, bluegrass music, whatever you want to call it. And in order to push it ahead, you really have to, I believe, you really have to focus on what came before. You have to be aware of it. You have to know it and incorporate it in what you invent. I think invention requires preservation, and so those 2 things go together for me. And that's why I'm really interested in talking about people that other people have that mostly have gone forgotten, like the black baseball team and the Blue Grays, or the Code Talkers, the Navajo Code Talkers, or the history of Mac Wiseman, or the songs that Eric and I were just yesterday. We were working on a song about Max Beckmann, the German painter, because we both went to the Kunstmuseum in The Hague, and we were really blown away by that collection. And so, you know, why should you not be able to write a bluegrass song about Max Beckmann's view of the world? I think it's much more interesting than me writing about my own interior life all the time.
Good, nice. As a duo, you seem to you released that incredibly good album, Simple Motions. Was it a few months ago, earlier this year? Mm-hmm. Is this a sign that the loss of our friend Peter, that you mentioned before, won't keep you from continuing working together as a duo?
It was apparent right from early on that we would keep going. Peter died in December of 2022, and Tom and I had been booking a tour of England for May of 23, and we thought, well, this is all so sad. Let's cancel or let's not cancel. What should we do? How do we grieve Peter? What do we do in his absence? And it was clear what we wanted to do, and what we thought, of course, Peter would want us to do, is keep playing music together. And when we went to England, it was the first time that we had played in 4 years, really. And we did 10 shows or something like that. And we had, it just felt good, it felt right. And we started working on songs, and we said, let's think about making a record. Let's make a record as soon as we get home. And that's pretty much what we did.
And to great success, I must say.
I'm glad you like it. It was really fun working on it. And we didn't, it's funny, when we were making the record, we didn't speak explicitly or overtly about Peter. But then as we were finishing mixing it and sequencing the record, we both said something along the lines of, you know, it wasn't deliberate, but we feel Peter in all the songs.
Yeah, he was a great friend of all of us here. Yeah. So, okay, guys, I'm sure we can talk for a few more hours about music, about Peter and all things. One question.
Yeah, for Tom.
Yeah.
When you get your green card?
When did I get it?
That's a long time ago.
When did I get a green card?
No. You started with Nancy Griffin. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, I moved to Nashville in 2003, and I think I started playing with Nancy in 2007 or something like that.
Oh.
So I was her guitar player for about 5 years and produced one of her records, and Yeah, it was great. She was wonderful. She's another great one that's gone on, you know. So learned a lot from her and had a lot of fun traveling with her.
I like her very much, the music.
I do too.
You did too,
Who doesn't?
okay.
Who doesn't? Okay, thanks again, guys, so much for being here at the Countryland Sessions here in Barneveld. And to share your music and your stories with us. It's very much appreciated. Dames en heren, Eric Brace en Thomm Jutz. Laat me even van ze horen. Alsjeblieft, applausje. Dank u wel.
Hey ho, rain and snow, dark down in the hollow. Play for you with a fiddle and bow. I'll be gone tomorrow. Hey, cloudy day, no sun in the valley. Ever since she went away, I sure miss my Sally. Oh, a little while not long ago, we went to the city. She found it a lovely place. I saw nothing pretty. She stayed, I went. Now I do regret it. In my mind I see her smile. I never will forget it. Oh, hey, oh, rain and snow, dark down in the hollow. Play for you with a fiddle and bow. I'll be gone tomorrow. She wrote a letter short and sweet, saying all was well, and I wrote one back telling her that my life was hell. I begged her to return, I swallowed all my pride, but I never heard another word. I guess she did decide. Hey, cloudy day, no sun in the valley. Ever since she went away, I sure miss my Sally. Hey, her letters in my pocket and my bags are at my door. I'll play one more fiddle tune and I won't play no more. You'll find me at the station waiting on a northbound train. I'll find the girl who stole my heart, be with her again. Yeah, I'll find the girl who stole my heart, be with her again. Oh, hey, oh, rain and snow, dark down in the hollow. Play for you with a fiddle and bow. I'll be gone tomorrow. Hey, cloudy day, no sun in the valley. Ever since she went away, I sure miss my Sally. Oh, ever since she went away, I sure miss my Sally. Thank you very much.
This is a song that I wrote with a friend of mine called Tammy Rogers. She plays in a band called the Steel Drivers, and this is the first song we ever wrote together about 7 years ago. Since then, we wrote about 130, 140 songs, but this is the first one, and I still really, this has a special place in my heart. It's called Old Railroads. I've been thinking about old railroads running through Virginia in the rain. The pistons and the steam, I've seen him in my dreams. My mind's been stuck on those old trains. Ride, let me ride.
Everybody lining up for miles to see Abe Lincoln's coffin roll on by.
Dignified and slow, they watch that engine roll. Must have been a wonder to behold. Ride, let me ride. Ride, let me ride. I've been thinking about old railroad. I don't really know how to explain. I'm bound to board a plane, but that ain't near the same. My mind's been stuck on those old trains. Ride, let me ride. Ride, let me ride. Two, one, two, three, four.
Stories I got 'em, go buy me a drink. Much obliged, name is Mike Fink. I wrestled the current up from New Orleans. Damnedest thing you'd ever seen. I could outrun, jump, shoot, push, or lick anybody either side of the Mississippi. I was hard and tough, lean and tan. Up and down the river I beat every man. I'm half wild horse and half swamp gator. They knew my name back then. They don't need me now on the new steam freighter, the mighty king of the keelboat men. No, I didn't take orders from anyone. I was cursing the current and cussing the sun. There ain't no honor in shoveling coal. I covered the distance pushing a pole. I'm half wild horse and half swamp gator. They knew my name back then. They don't need me now on the new steam freighter, the mighty king of the keelboat men. a sight to behold. I went faster and farther, but you wouldn't know. I'm a legend, they say, but what does that do? I'm sitting here now with a fool like you. I'm half wild horse and half swamp gator. They knew my name back then. They don't need me now on the new steam freighter, the mighty king of the keelboat men. I'm half wild horse and half swamp gator. They knew my name back then. Don't need me now on the new steam freighter, the mighty king of the keelboat men. I'm a keelboat man. Thank you very much.
This is a tune that I wrote, again, with my friend Tammy Rogers, and it's one that she recorded with her band, the Steel Drivers. And this is a song that a lot of people request to be played at their weddings, which is a funny thing for the Steel Drivers, because typically they don't write that type of song. They write rowdy songs about drinking and gambling and going to prison and all this kind of stuff. But this is a song about being happily married, and it's called I Choose You. 1, 2, 3. I choose you every day in 100 different ways. I make the choice to stay. I could hit the open road and run my life away, but I choose you every day. I see lovers all around us giving up and giving in. They've decided that it's over before it begins. Is it easier to stay or is it easier to go? I don't have the answer, but here's one thing that I know. I choose you every day in 100 different ways. I make the choice to stay. I could hit the open road and run my life away, but I choose you every day. It's a wondrous thing to turn around, see where we are. It's a good thing love forgives, and it's a blessing love is blind. If you ask me how it did it, I'd say one day at a time. I choose you every day in 100 different ways, and I make the choice to stay. I could hit the open road and run my life away, but I choose you every day. I choose every day in 100 different ways, and I make a choice to stay. I could hit the open road and run my life away, but I choose you every day. I could hit the open road and run my life away, but I choose you every day.
We'll do another song off of our new album. The album is called Simple Motion,
and it's out on my label Red Beat Records out of East Nashville. It's available in Europe through Proper Distribution. If you're listening on this continent, and worldwide, you can stream it everywhere. This is a song that I wrote in the middle of the pandemic in the summer of 2020, and I remember hearing a young man learning how to play an instrument just up the block, and I could hear him practicing, and he was the sound of hope. It's called Just a Moment. Better days are ways away. The sun is up and down again. Don't ask me the hour. I couldn't give an answer. I've been gone, but I came back. The neighborhood is looking different. There's a distance, it's so much more than we could ever measure. And oh, when I wake up in the morning, there's a moment, just a moment, when everything is light. Then oh, I open up my eyes and I remember everything has changed. There's a boy up the block practicing trumpet on his porch. What does he know? He's just a kid, but he sounds so good playing. These are a few of my favorite things. Oh boy, shut down the news and turn away. Listen hard for something good, something fine and unelectric. And oh, when I wake up in the morning, there's a moment, just a moment, when everything is light. Then oh, I open up my eyes and I remember everything has changed. Better days, I dream away, and even then, what do we know? Running through it all, one question: when will I see you again? Oh, when I wake up in the morning, there's a moment, just a moment, when everything is light. Then oh, I open up my eyes and I remember everything has changed. I remember everything has changed. Oh, everything has changed.
En ik zou zeggen, graag tot de volgende keer in het programma Countryland.
Bye bye.